Something unusual has been happening in the world of computing, and if you've been paying even a little attention, you've probably felt it. It's subtle at first, almost invisible, but once you start connecting the dots, it becomes impossible to ignore. Linux, the operating system that for decades lived in the background, powering servers, running quietly on developer machines and existing in the shadows of Windows and macOS, is no longer playing the same game. In 2026, it feels less like an alternative and more like a force that has matured into something far more powerful, something that doesn't need to compete in the traditional sense anymore. The real question isn't whether Linux is growing, because it clearly is, but whether it has crossed a threshold where it becomes unstoppable. To understand this shift, you have to look beyond the surface-level discussions about desktop market share or user-friendly distributions. For years, critics dismissed Linux because it wasn't ready for the average user. It required too much tinkering, too much technical knowledge, and too much patience. And while that may have been partially true in the past, that argument is starting to collapse under the weight of recent changes. What's happening now is not just incremental improvement. It's a convergence of technology, philosophy, and ecosystem maturity that is reshaping how people interact with operating systems altogether. One of the biggest changes is how Linux handles software compatibility. This used to be the Achilles heel. If an application wasn't built for Linux, you were out of luck. But in 2026, that limitation is fading fast. Tools like Proton and containerized environments have evolved to a point where running Windows applications on Linux is not only possible but often seamless. Gaming, once considered the ultimate barrier, has become one of Linux's strongest showcases. With major game engines supporting Linux natively and compatibility layers improving at an astonishing pace, the idea that Linux can't game feels outdated. But it's not just about compatibility layers. Developers themselves are shifting. More software is being built with cross-platform frameworks from the ground up. Web-based applications dominate workflows, meaning the underlying operating system matters less than ever before. In this environment, Linux thrives because it offers performance, customization, and control without the baggage of legacy constraints. It doesn't need to fight Windows on Windows terms anymore because the battlefield itself has changed. Another critical factor is hardware support. For a long time, Linux struggled with drivers, especially for newer hardware. But now, hardware manufacturers are paying attention in a way they never did before. Whether it's because of the rise of Linux in servers, the influence of Android, or the growing popularity of open ecosystems, companies are increasingly ensuring their devices work well with Linux. In some cases, Linux support is available on day one. This removes one of the biggest friction points for new users and makes the transition far less intimidating. At the same time, distributions have become more polished than ever. Modern Linux desktops are not just functional. They are genuinely beautiful and intuitive. Whether it's GNOME, KDE, or newer experimental environments, the focus on user experience has reached a level that rivals, and in some cases surpasses, traditional operating systems. Installation processes are simpler, system updates are safer, and the overall experience feels cohesive. You no longer need to be a power user to get started, and that changes everything. What's particularly interesting is how Linux aligns with the broader shift in user expectations. People are becoming more aware of privacy, data ownership, and control. There's a growing discomfort with ecosystems that lock users in, track behavior, and limit customization. Linux, by its very nature, stands in opposition to those trends. It offers transparency, flexibility, and freedom. These aren't just technical advantages. They are philosophical ones, and in 2026, they resonate more strongly than ever. Meanwhile, the traditional giants are facing their own challenges. Windows continues to evolve, but not always in ways that users appreciate. Increased integration of cloud services, more aggressive update cycles, and a growing sense of complexity have created friction. macOS remains polished, but it is tightly controlled and limited to Apple's hardware ecosystem. Both systems are powerful, but they come with trade-offs that more users are beginning to question. Linux, on the other hand, is becoming easier without becoming restrictive. That's a rare combination. Usually, when software becomes more user-friendly, it sacrifices flexibility. But Linux is managing to do both, offering a welcoming entry point for beginners while still providing the depth and control that advanced users crave. This dual appeal is one of the reasons it feels unstoppable. It's not just targeting one type of user. It's expanding in all directions simultaneously. Another dimension of this evolution is the rise of Linux beyond the desktop. It already dominates servers and cloud infrastructure, but now it's making significant inroads into areas like edge computing, IoT, and even consumer devices. From smart TVs to handheld gaming consoles, Linux is everywhere, often without users even realizing it. This ubiquity creates a feedback loop. As more devices run Linux, more developers build for it, which in turn attracts more users. And then there's the role of community. Unlike proprietary systems, Linux is not controlled by a single entity. It's shaped by a global network of contributors, organizations, and enthusiasts. This decentralized model has always been a strength, but in 2026, it's becoming a strategic advantage. It allows Linux to adapt to new trends, incorporate innovations quickly, and avoid the bottlenecks that come with centralized decision-making. When something needs to improve, it doesn't wait for a corporate roadmap. It evolves organically. That doesn't mean everything is perfect. Linux still has challenges. Fragmentation can be confusing, especially for newcomers. Not all software works flawlessly, and there are still edge cases where proprietary systems have an advantage. But here's the difference. These issues are no longer defining limitations. They are shrinking gaps, and in many cases, they're being addressed faster than ever before. What makes Linux feel unstoppable isn't that it has solved every problem, but that it no longer depends on solving them all to succeed. It has reached a point where its strengths outweigh its weaknesses so significantly that the overall trajectory is clear. It's gaining momentum, not because of a single breakthrough, but because of a combination of factors that reinforce each other. Consider the developer ecosystem. Developers are increasingly choosing Linux as their primary environment. It's not just about preference, it's about efficiency. Tools, workflows, and infrastructure are often optimized for Linux, making it the natural choice for building modern applications. As developers lead the way, users follow. This pattern has repeated throughout the history of technology, and it's happening again. Education is another area where Linux is quietly expanding. More institutions are introducing students to Linux-based systems, not just as a niche skill, but as a fundamental part of computing literacy. This creates a new generation of users who are comfortable with Linux from the start, reducing the barrier to adoption even further. Then there's the influence of open-source culture. It's no longer a fringe movement, it's mainstream. Major companies rely on open-source software, contribute to it, and build entire business models around it. Linux sits at the center of this ecosystem. As open source becomes the default approach for innovation, Linux benefits directly. You also can't ignore the economic aspect. Linux is free, but more importantly, it reduces dependency. Organizations can customize it, deploy it at scale, and avoid licensing costs. In a world where efficiency and control are critical, this becomes a compelling argument. It's not just about saving money. It's about having flexibility and independence. All of these elements combine to create a sense that Linux is no longer chasing relevance. It has it. The conversation has shifted from "can Linux compete" to "where will Linux go next?" That's a fundamental change in perception, and perception often drives reality. So when people ask if Linux has become unstoppable, they're really asking whether this momentum can continue. And while nothing in technology is truly unstoppable, Linux has positioned itself in a way that makes it incredibly resilient. It's not tied to a single company, a single product, or a single strategy. It's an ecosystem, and that makes it adaptable. In 2026, Linux feels less like an underdog and more like a foundation. It's the layer beneath so many technologies that even if you don't use it directly, you're interacting with it constantly, and as its presence grows, so does its influence. The most fascinating part is that this evolution didn't happen overnight. It's the result of decades of development, iteration, and community effort. What we're seeing now is the payoff of that long-term investment. It's a reminder that real transformation often happens gradually until suddenly it feels inevitable. And maybe that's the best way to describe Linux in 2026. Not as a sudden revolution, but as an inevitability that has finally become visible. It's not about replacing other operating systems entirely or winning a zero-sum game. It's about redefining what an operating system can be and where it fits in the broader landscape of technology. Whether you're a casual user, a developer, or just someone curious about the future of computing, it's worth paying attention, because Linux isn't just evolving. It's reshaping the environment around it. And once you see that clearly, it's hard to argue against the idea that something unstoppable is taking shape.